Alright.
They're the grass bugs.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wild Patch podcast. And today we've got our very good friend, Aaron.
What's up, guys?
We promised that he would be on in the last video. Well, not the last video.
Video before
The
last.
video before last. So, we've managed to actually get some time in. Aaron, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so obviously I'm Aaron. I know these guys for quite a while. As you know, in the last couple of videos we mentioned about the picks and sticks and the stuff we've got going on.
Yeah.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. So, going into that, I've known you for a good few years now.
Yeah.
And
it's been a while.
incidentally, it's kind of weird because I met your sister first
Yeah.
when I was like 12.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And obviously didn't know of you. And then a few years later I met one of your brothers.
Yeah.
Again,
James, yeah.
not realising that he was related to your sister either.
Yeah.
And then I met you, not realising that you were related to either of them.
There is quite a few of us.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
is,
so it's kind of weird how I met like a lot of your family before I met you, and then obviously
That's it.
we're friends separately to them, which is kind of cool. I'm friends with each of you for different reasons, not because
That's
of
it, yeah. That's what
because
you
you're
should do.
related to each
Yeah,
other or
exactly, yeah.
anything.
It's like, you know, when you are related and you've got a set of friends that you're kind of all in a group together with,
Yeah.
it can be a bit awkward sometimes,
Yeah.
can't it? But with
Yeah.
us, it's not like that. It's
Yeah.
like we're all kind of like friends in our own different ways. So
Exactly, which
it's
is
good, yeah.
really
good,
cool.
yeah. Really good.
And then eventually, obviously, you met James through doing like open mics and
I think
things
it
like
was,
that.
It was pretty much like an open mic night that
It
we
was, yeah.
ended up
It was,
meeting.
yeah. It
Yeah.
did, yeah. Because I think we were sat next to each other and I actually remember that night because you were empty. Your glass was empty. I was looking at, do you want a pint? He was like, oh yeah, got it there. I was like, oh yeah, sweet, went and got you a pint. That's basically
Yeah.
how we met there.
It's a good meeting point.
Yeah, it's like a meeting point. Do you want a pint? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorted, there you are. We just
Alright,
kicked off from
cheers
there.
mate, I've got to
Nice
get to
one.
know you now.
That's it.
You
yeah.
got me a
I
pint.
bought you a pint. You have to get to know me.
Yeah, exactly. Have to get to know you at that point.
Great story.
Yeah.
So, as you've probably noticed as well, that Aaron, you are currently sat behind a drum kit.
Yes, this is the Alesis Nitro Pro. It's
Not
very,
sponsored.
Very nice. Not
Yes,
sponsored. Yeah, it's not
Not
sponsored at all.
sponsored.
And it's a great kit to kind of lug around and put in the back of your car, especially when you have children.
Yes,
not sponsored. Yeah, it's not sponsored at all.
Fun today.
Yes, trying to fit a drum kit in a tiny little 4-door Astra is especially when you've got children, is difficult. So this is definitely the way to go.
It's especially useful for home record, like home stuff, like
Yeah, it's
playing
great.
at
It
home,
is
because
great.
rather than an acoustic kit, you can actually turn this down.
Yes, I know. Yes, I mean with drummers, I'm sure as you know, Brett, with drummers,
Yeah.
right, drummers they play loud. Right?
Yeah.
They've got neighbours that hate them. They've got like wives that hate them as well because they're just taking up the living room space. We'll talk more about that later. And yeah, I just think it's great to just kind of have in the corner. You can fold it up. You can literally just pick it up. It's so light. It's just
with it.
completely versatile. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
great. It's really great. Goodbye.
So why have you actually got that here with you today? Should we go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so we can do. We started a little band.
Yeah. So outside of the Grass Bugs, which obviously you may still see on this channel a little bit, but it's a separate thing.
Yeah.
We're actually a band. I'm playing guitar, singing.
I'm playing bass.
On the drums.
Kind of obvious. But loads of different styles coming up, loads of original stuff.
And lots of original, different stuff happening. It's not all the same, which is great.
Yeah.
Because if you have like kind of all of the same sound, it's like bit generic,
Yeah.
boring, you know. But this is all different. Each one of our originals are different in their own
Very,
quality
very
way. So
different.
it's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I'm going to say, obviously, without giving too much away, we've got stuff in the metal genre, we've got stuff in the pop punk genre,
Yeah.
ballads.
Balance, yeah.
Yeah, you name it, it's coming up, so that's obviously really good.
Yeah.
But the main point, as you can see, we have beautiful instruments around us today. This itself is a personal favourite of mine for some reasons.
Yeah, there is one hell of a story about that as well. So.
Yeah, well that's what we're going to get into now. So, first of all, with your drum kit, would you like to just show everyone your snare?
Yeah, so this snare, it was made especially for being an electronic snare,
Yeah.
really. So it's all kind of plugged in, it's got my homemade trigger in it, all built by me, so I'll try and get this out.
If you guys no worries, there you go.
So it's just basically a patchwork. I don't know if you can see, I'm sure you'll zoom in.
We also can pop up some photos on
There
screen.
it is there.
There you go, some photos.
Nice new skin on the front, it's got an old skin on the bottom, but it's a homemade trigger. It's got all of my favourite bands on it, on the sides like Stereophonics, love Stereophonics, Foo Fighters, Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, all of that on the side. It kind of looks funky, and yeah, it's kind of sealed in forever. So it's kind of my way of putting my own stamp on it, if you like.
So that's pretty cool. So
It's pretty cool.
you're saying you're able to put your own stamp on things, and obviously we've got these interesting instruments.
Yes.
You've got a business going.
We do. We have a business going. It's kind of a personalised, it's not an upscale.
Okay.
I'm not looking at it as like a restoration. So, Picks and Sticks is about bringing your old, worn out guitar that's been sat there in the corner forever. One like Cherry, for example.
Which we'll go into properly in a minute.
And it's basically bringing it completely back to life so you can reproduce that sound that you had before that you can't get now. So we can tailor that towards yourself. So if you wanted green, orange, blue, black, whatever the colour you want, we can upgrade it and modify it. We do refrets, we do complete condition work, we can allocate stands to it, we can move stuff around. So it's all down to your personal taste. So that's what Picks and Sticks is pretty much all about.
So is that just guitars that you're doing?
No, we can go from guitars, saxophones. I've got one on the go at the minute.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of a beefy job, that one, but
Yeah.
it's going to take some time. But obviously, with a saxophone, there are a hell of a lot of parts to it.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got to have a clear tone, like wind going into it. It's got to be clear with the sax, right? I've got a banjo on the go at the minute.
Really cool.
It's a very nice banjo. It's been sat in someone's loft for about 15 years because it was his granddad's and he wants it sorted out, so it kind of holds that sentimental value
Which
to
I
it as
really
well.
get with instruments.
Yeah, we do bass guitars, we do drums, we do keyboards, as you will know, Sean.
Yeah.
We had your keyboard
Yeah.
on my table last
It's
weekend.
yeah.
What else we do? We're on about customising people's microphones.
So, by the sounds of things, a customer could message your page, which all the links will be in the description below this video,
Awesome.
and here's the logo to look out for. Picks and Sticks. But as a customer, I could message you and go, I've got a didgeridoo. Right?
Yeah, didgeridoo.
Yes,
Yeah.
didgeridoo.
It's still a musical
So I
object.
could go, I want this customising, you know, I'm not really keen on the colour.
Yeah.
There's something about the passageways I aren't really playing too well. Do you think,
Yeah.
is that the kind of thing that...
Yeah, of course. We can do that. With didgeridoos, they're originally made with horns.
Yeah.
So horns will give you that clear tone in a didgeridoo that we want. Rather than it sounding plastic, and some of them do sound plastic.
Yeah, very much so.
We can kind of carve you a fresh way of sounding a lot better with a didgeridoo.
So basically, it doesn't matter what
So it
instrument.
literally does not matter what you want. We have that sit-down consultation with you. I mean, you're giving us your beloved instrument here, so you know we handle it with care and with utmost care.
And I think
So-
that's what's going to set you apart from a lot of the other companies that do this similar sort of thing, which
Of
is
course,
what
yeah.
you are trying to keep that sentimentality for
Definitely,
that instrument.
Definitely, yeah. So it's a case of keeping the prices low as well, because anyone can walk into a guitar centre and go, oh, that's a nice guitar. Oh, there you go, mate. You pay $2-3 for a guitar sometimes if you're
Oh,
looking at
yeah.
Gibson and stuff, yeah. And you want high quality guitars if you are a quality guitarist. So if you've been going for 10 years, you're going to want something that fits you personally. Now at a guitar centre, you just buy it off the shelf.
Yeah.
It's not fit to you. You're going to need better gauge strings. You're going to need something with a bit more sound. Your action's going to be allocated towards you personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you play metal, you need a higher action. If you play, you know, you're doing solos all the time, you need a lower action. That's the way it kind of works. So the thing that kind of makes us different from everyone else is we give you that personal experience for you personally. So having that personal experience, we can have that guitar, bass, drums, we can allocate that for your personal tastes and playing methods.
Which we're going to get into that with both me and James telling a bit of a story here. So as you can see, we've got the number of instruments around, I'm going to kick this off with Cherry. So Cherry is actually my first ever electric guitar. It meant a lot to me, but unfortunately through me being a kid, it got used and abused, and then I obviously bought better instruments and tailored my style and everything, and this thing got left in a corner and left to ruin basically. But I refused to get rid of it, and I've bought and sold guitars throughout my life, but this thing for some reason I couldn't get rid of it, and I always said I'll get it fixed, I'll get it fixed, I'll get it fixed. Never did. And then I was trying to customise my own guitars, which I did quite successfully with with Jasmine, this guitar here.
And she is gorgeous.
She really is. But I butchered this headstock trying it. It went to ruin. And you were telling me about your business, so this got brought to you, and I'm going to show you a couple of photos on screen now of what Cherry used to look like, which is that. And then you took it from me. There's a couple of midway points, which, again, here's some photos of the midway. And then now, here she is, completely finished, sounding and playing beautifully. I absolutely love this thing.
She's lovely.
Like, the headstock's a lot better, and now I actually play a guitar that would have been sat in ruin, and the sentimental value for me, I mean, the way you actually sorted this guitar, it's amazing.
Towards your taste.
It's perfect for me.
I mean, it's a lovely Strat. Maple neck, it's got the 3 single coils as well. It's got the lovely rummy bar bridge as well, which is great. So when you were looking at me, you were explaining about how you didn't want any of the scars kind of covered up.
Yeah, so she does have original dings and dents.
Of course, like, that's what I mean. Dings and dents give a guitar character.
Exactly.
So even looking at a guitar like that, all these little dents and scuffs and scar marks tell the story of the guitar, where it's come from, where it's been gigged at, where it's been dropped, where it's been, messed about with. I remember that night when this happened. It gives it all character and a story behind it. And since you've had that guitar since you were 13,
even younger,
12,
13.
really?
I think the first time I actually played it live in a band scenario, I was in year 7, so that would have been 11-year-old.
Wow, there you go.
Which the photo you've probably seen on screen.
There you go.
There you go. That was, so I think I've had her since I was about 9-year-old. So 20. Literally, I've had this guitar for 20 years now. That's why I can't get rid of it.
And so how long was it from when you stopped playing it to when you started playing it again?
Probably about 15.
15
up
years.
until... No, since I was 15 years old, so, it worked out about 14,
So
14 years.
that's what I mean,
Just been
so
sat in a corner.
that's the whole point. So it's a beloved guitar that you wanted sorting for a while, and we're talking 15 years that you've wanted it sorted for, and from start to finish. But now, look at it, it's playable, it's great. I'm sure.
And I'll be the
show
first
you how
to
it sounds
admit.
like. But yeah,
I'll be the first to admit as well, financially, I've never been in the best position, and you've done this for a rate that was agreeable to someone who was very much struggling, to be honest with you, which is great. And it's not just through friends rates and stuff, but your business motto is that kind of fair pricing, which is really good.
I mean, nowadays you go to a luthier, or don't get me wrong, luthiers are fantastic and I respect their work. Anybody who can either just give it a go or they're a professional at it, it's one hell of a job. And it's just, for me personally, I enjoy it. I enjoy challenges like that, and to have something that's been in your life for so long and now is back into your life. You get that, even just with the sounds, like the sounds that you can generate with that will bring you back to the good old days.
It's ridiculous.
And it just puts you in a really good position, and that is why I want to do what Picks and Sticks want to do. So,
but my story is obviously completely different from James's.
of course.
Yeah, because my green bass right here.
The swamp bass.
Yeah, the swamp bass. Basically, one of my co-workers, she ended up breaking up with a boyfriend, and her boyfriend had left his bass, like a few instruments, in her garage, or rather in her parents' garage. And then came and picked up a few of them, and then left this one, which it was originally like a bright red colour, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
Right,
And
photos.
and it was left-handed as well.
Yeah.
Specifically left-handed. So I'm not a left-handed player, but she was kind enough to give me the guitar, which had rusted strings. It was not in a good condition at all.
Honestly, them strings were very, very rusty.
Yeah.
I remember James going, I've got gifted a bass, and I played it.
But the problem was as well that as soon as I plugged it in, I liked the sound of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I like the bass, but oh my god, I'm gonna have to put work into it.
Yeah.
But luckily,
Obviously, you'd see what was happening with Cherry.
well, it was before Cherry.
Oh god, it was actually, yes.
Because it was when you were first saying like you were wanting to do stuff like this, and then I think you had like a couple of guitars before that.
Yeah, that's right. I had a yellow. Oh, it wasn't yellow. It was a Fender Stratocaster. It's China made. It's nothing special, but it was battered. Really, it's been sat in a basement for 6 or 7 years. It was a wall-mounted guitar as well, so it's just been sat there forever, never been played. We sorted that one out first, so now it's like a lemon yellow.
Yeah.
Here's a picture. It was like some really nice lemon yellow. So what we'll do is we'll tailor that to match. So we pick up covers, and there's just so much you can do with it. But this one was an absolute joy to work on. There was an accident. I say accident. You know what? I believe in accidents because accidents you can either learn from them or go with them. Because in this business you're constantly learning about new things and shit happens.
Yeah.
There is a little cracking kind of effect up here,
Which we can provide a picture of.
There you go.
Because you sent me a picture when it happened, and you were like,
of course.
there's been an accident.
Yeah, so I mean, even picks and sticks, like shit happens, and even with like a customer experience, if it does happen, we will always let you guys know what's happened, and then find out where to move on from there with you personally.
Yeah.
So that happened. Shit. I think it's got like a humidity issue with where I was sorting it out, and it cracked. And to be quite honest, it now makes the headstock. So
It does.
Yeah.
accidents happen, but you can make something of them. So this here has obviously been highlighted in the yellow, and it's just a fantastic little project there. Going from like a deep dark scattered red.
Yeah.
You said you wanted swamp.
Yeah.
We
That
had
was
a- we had
like
a
pretty much
discussion,
the
yeah.
only prompt that I gave you was swamp.
Swamp.
Like a
Pretty much
swamp.
that.
That's the only prompt that I ever gave him, apart from left to right. I wanted him to be able to play it my preferred way.
Yeah, we've got stuff going
Which
on
we,
still.
yeah,
with that.
it is actually still a work in progress as well.
Which I can imagine even just changing it from left to right, obviously changing the thickness of these gaps so the strings fit properly. I bet that was challenging itself.
Well, yeah, it is. Nut filing is a skill in its own.
Yeah.
You have to have the right tools and the patience. Oh my god, you have to have patience, right? Because if you go too far, you'll end up with string buzz, and that string buzz is a massive nightmare for any guitarist.
Yeah.
Right? But if you go too far with a nut, you have to start all over again because there's no going back. I mean, there are some cheats you can do, but once you go too far, that cheat's not going to work. So obviously, like we've done that. It's got high action because it's a metal bass, so it's there to play metal.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's got a nice, lovely little design on the front as well, rather than just being swamp green.
Yeah.
I think we had a conversation about making it a little bit more personal for you. Yeah. And at the time you were developing your own.
I was making a language essentially to put into a book, and I had a few symbols for letters and a few symbols that represented specific words. And so you asked me what my favourite symbol was that I had, which just so happened to be this symbol here. It'll probably be best to pop up a picture. And that symbol to me didn't have a meaning, but now it does have a meaning.
Yeah.
And that meaning is swamp.
Swamp.
There you go.
It's the symbol for swamp. I don't know how I'm going to interpret that properly.
I'm sure it will work
Yeah.
out. Yeah, that's the great thing there. So you've got obviously two very different instruments, one left-handed, one right-handed, one a six-string, one a bass, both needing very different things doing from them, both coming from a very different story. One obviously I've had for countless years, one that just happened to fall into someone's lap and you just wanted it changed about. So
That's it.
the amount of different things, and I will say this, as you said there, patience is key.
Oh,
Not only for
patience is key.
yourself as the guy that's obviously fixing these guitars, and I know you've got another artist who's doing a lot of funky designs on new stuff as well.
Big shout out for Leah Phillips. She's just great to work with, and her artwork is out of this world. So patience is key.
Yeah.
You know, if you want decent artwork, you've got to wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't just want something slapped on your guitar. There you go, mate. There's no due care and attention
Wait.
being made into that.
If you want to see what a guitar looks like when there's no due care and attention, please refer to some of our back videos, because we do have our own customising guitar DIY, which if you want craft work, come to me and James. If you want high quality, genuine care and genuinely you listen to someone's story and you almost take that on board yourself. It's not just another job to you. This you can always tell me where that guitar's come from.
Of course.
The story behind it.
Yeah, that story matters. To me personally, really.
Exactly. That's such a great thing to hear as a customer as
Definitely.
well.
It's not all about money. It's about where it's come from and where it's going to take you.
Yeah.
Because you've got that sound now that you had, but back in the 90s. They don't have now. Everything's sampled now. You don't get that raw kind of sound now. And I'm trying to bring that sound back.
Yeah.
Because obviously the music industry at the minute, it's kind of gone downhill, right?
It's what it is.
You know, but obviously, like, we're trying to bring it back. We're trying to bring back the passion that people do have for instruments, and I believe that your instrument is your tool, and that tool's got to be perfect. Otherwise, you can't perform to your best ability. So that's what we're for.
Yeah, exactly. There's no point in using someone else's gear. You need to use
Exactly.
your own
And
gear.
I think, like, if you're not using your own gear, you don't push yourself to that level that you normally would, because you're not using your own gear.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you were at a show, someone gave you a guitar and you're like, oh, no guitar's the same. You could have two of the exact same guitar.
Same make and
It'll just
models.
be completely different.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So they all speak for themselves, which is a really good sentence right there. They speak for themselves.
So that's obviously what's current.
Yeah.
Future, obviously, I know both me and James have got projects for you.
Yeah.
Like obviously, we've already said, this bass, lovingly named Fiona, has some ongoing work to be done.
Yeah. So she's got the dots, the indicating dots on the side that we need to sort, and we're going to completely switch over the electrics from left to right. So you're not getting that.
Yeah.
In the way of your playing.
Yeah, I'm not getting the wire when I'm plugged in. I'm not having the wire just like hitting the palm of my hand where I'm like, fuck shit.
Yeah.
Can't get
It's
up
there, little Fiona. And we'll see if we can like do something with the left-handed and right-handed like kind of horns as well. See if we can like balance them out a little bit.
Yeah, because that is one difficulty that you find with turning left to right-handed is the weight distribution. Because as soon as I put a strap on her, oh my god, it just.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with picks and sticks as well. Is that we look after your aftercare. It's not just about giving you the guitar. There you go. That's it. Obviously with the guitar centres that you buy, a guitar straight off the shelf. There's not much aftercare there.
Yeah.
Really. So
you may have one or two pedals swap out a guitar, but that's not the same as someone's.
It's not a personal experience. It's an online generic AI experience that you're getting. But with us, we'll make it personal. We'll always ask you how it is. We'll always say, any troubles you're having, is it uncomfortable, how can we make it better for you? It's all about being comfortable on stage, not just the 45-minute sets. If you want to play a show and you're playing a whole show, we're talking 2-3 hours. Yeah, you want something that's comfortable. So that's why we generate that after here as well. So.
Well, just speaking as a band, obviously, we usually put in a 3-hour band practice where if an instrument isn't comfortable for you, you're going to want to switch it out. If we're recording some days, I mean, personally, I've done recording sessions that are full weeks. That's a week of using an instrument. If that doesn't feel right to you.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the not recording sessions, our practice sessions. I've been using the 5-string, and that causes a lot of weight. So I've ended up having to get.
Fixed by us, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Little volume knobs and whatever.
Yeah, they were really scratchy.
Well, they were just loose. Like you could touch them and you could feel them just wobble away. So pass it over to you, asking if you could do anything for it, and you brought it back with everything fixed that needed to be fixed.
That's a good thing as well. It's not just a general like revamp and redesign. You can just straight up just if it just needs something like a volume knob. That's it. Not a problem.
Well, people like to turn around and say upscale, but it's not really an upscale. It's taking it back scale. But in a positive way, in a better way.
Exactly.
Because you can use all the things that are out now, that weren't out back then, to make yourself sound good better. But you still end up with that experience that you had back then, you know. So,
It's not an upscale, it's a revitalisation.
Oh, I love that. Yes, that's absolutely spot on.
That is really good.
It is.
But on that point, obviously, we do actually have a band practice coming up, which hopefully you'll see more of in the future, and we will have Aaron back either for maybe another adventure video, which obviously it's coming up to the winter months now, so it might not be any time soon, or you might see some other things.
Yeah, you might see some little samples from our practice session as well, like at some point.
You never know, get that teased and all the rest of it. But as always, guys, if you've liked this edition of the Wild Patch podcast, make sure to hit that like button.
And if you want to see more from us, make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Take 2.
Take 2.
Now, let's roll because it's funny. And if you want to be notified when these videos come out, make sure to ring this bell. And as always, guys,
much love. Peace.
I want an ending to that video.
I don't know what happened, because I just stopped instead of like, I didn't mess up a word or anything, I just stopped. I was like, if you want to see more from us, what?
Well, Aaron, as always, dude, cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
it's always a pleasure.
No worries.
Appreciate it.